Hello, welcome to It Ain't New, the show that represents the history of ethnic minority groups in the USA and where knowledge becomes power. If you don't know, now you know. We're Nyke,
Bella,
Estar,
your very real hosts.
did you find an apartment or like are you
Yeah,
living in
I have
student housing?
I'm living in an apartment through Airbnb.
Mm.
And so, but even then, when I looked at like the hosts for a lot of even the apartments there, like it was all young people. But I also noticed that every apartment that I looked at
Mm-hmm.
has two hosts. So I'm like, they basically went into business together.
That makes sense.
But I'm like, it's younger people too. So it's like, it's literally like, I think there was one person that was probably over 50.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else was legit like
Well,
max 45.
I mean, you have to be pretty tech savvy to like do something like that. I can't imagine
That
really
too.
a boomer in Korea being ready to kind of shift their model to include Airbnb.
Right. Because probably all of them are still thinking, oh, I have to buy an entire building. Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, not necessarily. Oh, they're actually changing. I think they said by like middle of 2024 or like early 2025, the
Mm-hmm.
majority of the buses
Mm-hmm.
will actually no longer accept like cash.
That makes sense. I'm surprised they aren't doing that already.
Right. So I know like even because in my neighborhood I obviously use the
Key
short
card?
range bus, like the one that
Yeah.
literally just goes around my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And almost all of them now have this sign that they didn't have before, but now all of them have this sign that like
No more
this is
cash.
going to be an eco air and no more cash, and it's
Mm.
literally like warning signs on everything.
Yeah.
But the majority of people already use their debit cards, so
Right.
like I literally just the other day, and it was so funny because my mom got like she like freaked out about it. But um I stopped using my T Money card because I don't have to use my T Money card. Like I
Mm.
literally have a bank account here, so
Yeah.
just
Oh, that's
use
great.
my
You
debit
didn't have
card.
one before. So you got all that
Yeah,
mess
so
cleared up. Great.
that
Great.
was it was a hassle, but no, it's all been cleared up. They also
Mm.
made me like I also had like a recent encounter where I had to like what was it? I had to reconnect through the government my
Mhm.
name and
Mhm.
what is it? My name and like residence card.
Mm.
Oh yeah, they stopped calling it the alien registration
No
card.
way. What do they call it now?
Yes, it's literally just your residence card,
Uh-huh.
and they just call it an RC. They took off the
Oh,
A.
so just not an alien. Well, that's kind of
Right, just not
nice.
an alien. The
That's
thing
kind
is
of
though, you
nice.
can tell now by the colors.
Uh-huh.
So like if you're a Korean national, the color of your residence card is like a brownish orange, I
Uh-huh.
think.
Uh-huh.
And then if you're like a foreigner who still has some sort of like residency somewhat there,
Right.
it's blue.
Mm. Hmm.
So I mean we still have, clubs and stuff that say like no, they don't say no foreigners, they just say no blue
No
card.
blue cards, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, but to be honest, half the time I'm like, why are y'all going there anyway? Like for foreigners, I'm like, why would you go to that one anyway? There's plenty of other clubs that are like foreigner friendly.
Maybe they want to not hook up with foreigners. Maybe they want to hook up with natives.
But the thing is though, there's actually a lot of Korean nationals that like actually like the foreigner clubs better. Like it's kind of funny, but yeah.
I can see that being a thing.
So I'm just like, it's
Wait,
kind of
wait.
their fault that they're not allowing foreigners, but whatever. So
I
like
don't
there's
know.
clubs that have pretty much no restriction on that.
Right.
And there's more Korean nationals that will actually go to these clubs that are quote unquote foreigner friendly.
To me, I'm just like,
And then
that's such a anti-capitalist thing to do. Like, they're all gonna come and get drunk. So like, why do you care if a blue card is paying you or an orange card is paying you?
thank you. Thank you. That's what I want to know too.
I think for
But
me, like, yeah, there's that, and then there's the if you're allowing people who are from different countries as you, then like you're also being just more open in general.
But that assumes Koreans want to be open.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're a foreigner there, right, and you're like, if you're in a foreign you're in a club that allows foreigners, then like
mhm.
you're more likely to be accepted by the Koreans who are there.
So it goes back to my original point. Maybe you don't want to hook up with a foreigner or a Korean person who's into foreigners. You want
Maybe.
like a
Right.
Maybe.
straight up native.
Right.
That's really the only thing I can think of. Because the liquor's not going to be different. The music's not going to be different. Like, you straight up want a
But their
native
outlooks
Korean.
might look very different.
Right. Oh my goodness.
You're talking
For
to someone
some
who'd never go
reason-
to a club, so foreigner
Right.
or
Like
not.
I'm not going
Yeah,
anywhere,
exactly.
Right. I was like, I'm not going to either anyway.
Like,
So it
let's
doesn't
find a
matter.
nice cafe, guys. Preferably one that's running a K-pop cup sleeve.
One of the things that I have noticed that has happened, especially in Seoul,
Mm-hmm.
um, there's a lot more restaurants that cater to single people.
Ooh.
My friend was saying that she was in Korea this past June, and she said
Mm.
no one eats alone, and she was there traveling solo, and so she actually ate too many times out of a convenience store because they
Right.
either wouldn't seat her or they made her feel uncomfortable, like they wouldn't let her sit down as a single eater.
Mhm. Oh no, there's way more restaurants now that cater to single people.
I mean, they have to. The single,
Right.
like, everyone is single. No one is married.
Thank you. They have to. And so because like there's two, three, four. Four in like I have like a little I call them the family buildings
Mm-hmm.
because I see nothing but kids there. And there's like a setting of like a bunch of restaurants there, and
Mm-hmm.
even the chicken places. Like if I wanted to just eat by myself, like
Mm-hmm.
I could eat by myself there, and there's no like craziness about it. There's also like this very good like udon place,
Uh-huh.
and it was also kind of cute. This woman came out. I was actually talking to my mom, so I
Mhm.
couldn't decide where I wanted to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And the owner actually came out, and she was like, "Oh, like, do you speak Korean? Like, are you do you not want to come in? Like, what?" She was like, "Are you scared? Like, what's happening?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm just
Oh,
talking
they
to
saw
my
you
mom,
like waiting outside.
yeah,
Like,
yeah."
do
So
I
she
want to
was
go
like, "Is
in?
she right? Like,
Wow.
is she okay?" And then she like tried to like help me out with it, and I was like, "Oh no, I actually can read the Korean. Like, it's fine." I was just having a conversation with my mom,
Did you wind
and I
up
didn't want to
eating
talk.
there?
Yeah, I did, and it's
Okay,
actually
that's
really
good.
good. It's To be honest, it was the most, which is weird to say, but it was the most clean tasting udon I've ever had.
Mm.
Oh.
Like it wasn't greasy, and not that like greasy is necessarily bad, but
Mhm.
like it was so delicious, but it also tasted so clean.
Mm.
Like so like it tasted healthy, but still with the taste of the grease that you want.
Okay.
Um, and then it was also cute because then afterwards I ended up coming back with my family, and so the owner doesn't like her. It was a family run place,
Mm-hmm.
and the owner and her husband, like they didn't really speak a lot of English. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
her husband spoke any English, and
Which is weird because they
but
have
their son
English
did.
education till like for how many years? Until like high school, I think, right?
Right. but their son did. So like the next time she like sent her son there to like take our order, and I was like, I think she forgot that I can speak Korean. And then it was so cute because like we ended up coming with at the same time as other families.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, in that restaurant they also had tables that were specific for like one or two people, and then they had tables that were specific to like bigger groups.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat next to another like family, and the kids at that table like were so drawn to my brother that they were just like, "Hi, what's your name? Where are you from?" And I was like, "You guys are so adorable trying to use your English." I was like, "Oh, you're so cute." Oh, and then when I was on a subway going to the rail bike, these kids, they were middle schoolers, literally like sat next to me. And one of them, I was like, "Little boy, you are too young to be trying to flirt with me." And he was the only one in the group that could speak English.
Oh, that is
So
funny.
he was literally like, after we got past the general, like, "Oh, what country are you from?" and all of that, he was literally trying to flirt with me. And I was like, "Sir, little sir, go back over there with the rest of your class."
You wanted that private tutoring, Nyke.
I was like, "Sir, we are
That's
not about to
cute.
do this." But they
That's
were
cute.
so adorable. Yeah, I like found that it's very interesting where you go,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people will still be like, "Oh, like there's this, like they're just so racist," and they generalize it, and I'm like, it depends. Because I'm also like, most of the conversations that I've had here in English or Korean outside of school have been with old people,
Mm.
like legit, like in
Yeah.
their 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Like them coming
And
up
they've
to you?
been, yes,
I feel like there's a whole other level of, it's not like a level of I don't give a fuck. It's like they're just not as scared in a sense of like talking to strangers at that
right.
point. Because like that's
Like
happened to
I've
me whenever I'm
Mhm.
traveling abroad. It's like usually if someone's gonna come up and talk to you, it's not the young person. It's not like the 20-year-old. It's like definitely like the 60, 70, possibly even 80-year-old who's like, "Hey, so what are you doing here?"
Exactly. And yeah, I'm just like, I haven't had like those experiences. Like I've definitely had the staring,
Mm-hmm.
mainly because I do live in an area, even though it's Seoul, I live in an area where there's like legit no foreigners.
Mm.
Until you get to like, because we have an area called Times Square, which is basically just a mall.
Mm-hmm.
And that area, there's, I think, 3 Marriott hotels.
Woohoo! That is a lot.
So yeah, and they're literally like down the street from one another, which makes me crack up all the time. But yeah, like that's the only time you're probably gonna see like another foreigner in the neighborhood.
It's like when you're literally staying
But
at a hotel.
right. And then there's, or if you're like at the legit more touristy spot, like at the river,
Mm-hmm.
or the on the other side of Yoido is Hapjeong. So like going to those areas that are more, I guess, closer to like the schools that have like foreigner students.
Mm.
Like that's where you're going to see the foreigners. You're not, like my area, you're not really going to see too many of them there. But it's hilarious because the other day someone in my building translated one of the notices from that was in Korean
Mhm.
to English, and like hand translated them, and I was like, why are they translating them? Like it's not necessary. But yeah, they like translated it into English, and I was like, who did that? Because the same marker was used to correct the Korean grammar on another one. So I was like, who is translating this?
Someone who feels
But
that they have the time and the energy to go and
Wait.
and
But
translate and
were they
fix.
correct in their corrections? Because that's
they were
hilarious.
correct in their corrections.
It's
Because it
hilarious
was
when they
like you
correct
forgot,
and it's incorrect.
right? And I
Were
also
their
live near
translations
KPS
right?
Hall, so yeah, the translation was like perfect too.
Ooh.
So it was interesting to see.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of translation,
Mm.
I think I told you guys that I got into a Nugu group this year. And so
Oh.
two of them, their birthdays are in January, like 2 days apart.
Mm-hmm.
So the group that I helped form, we're sending them like birthday packages, right? And one of the things that we do is that we make them a birthday book, which is basically like it's like one of those. I think we do it on Shutterfly, like one of those photo
Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm.
books, like
Okay.
8x11 photo books. But
Yeah.
everyone gets a page, and you can put whatever you want on the page. I mean, nothing like unsuitable, but like so
Right.
most people write a letter and then they put like photos and
Mm-hmm.
things. I was only one of two translators into Korean, and we
Mm.
had over 100 submissions in total. And so I was telling Bella, like, my office, we've been dropping like flies. Everyone's just been getting sick, and so
Oh.
we haven't had a lot of work to do, and kind of the office has been kind of empty this week. And it works
Mm.
out for me because all I was doing at work was translating
Was
these
translating?
letters. I mean, thankfully, a fan letter is pretty like basic.
Yeah.
No one really writes something different. It's basically like, I love you. You don't know who I am, but like, I love
Mhm.
you, right?
Right.
But oh man, that was a job.
Right.
Uh,
Oh man.
But it did
I
make
know.
me think again, though, how amazing it is still that so many people are into Asian culture stuff without
Mhm.
knowing the language,
Right.
Because to me, I'm just like, how do you watch these things and have zero comprehension of what's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I can see
Like-
that.
Like, standing a Nugu group is so hard if you don't know Korean because there aren't that many fan subbers.
Yeah.
Usually they don't
Right.
care about like talking in English
Mhm.
all the time.
Mhm.
And so I'm just like, why would you do it? But there are people who are like into it more than I am. And I'm like, but I understand what they're saying. Like, they'll watch the entire like 60-minute live and just put into the chat like, I love you. I have no idea what you're saying, but I love you. And I'm just like, how do you
Right.
do that for 60 minutes? Right? Like not knowing a single thing that they're saying.
Mhm.
I feel like honestly these days, like even if I understand what they're saying, I have a hard time with just sitting down and being like, let me just watch like a 10-minute video. Where like I understand every single word that they're saying. I'm just like, I just can't sit here.
Well, is that because, like, why do you think that is? Is because you've moved past that kind of like fan needing like interaction?
So if you're talking strictly about K-pop, the last time I watched any K-pop video for any of like my main groups has probably been 2 years ago now.
Well, so I was actually gonna say, because you're
I'm wearing a Day 6
Day
shirt.
6 shirt. Their Christmas concert is tonight, and it's streaming.
So is End Flying, and it's legit next door to my building. But I didn't know about it, so I didn't buy any tickets.
Can't you just walk up and buy one?
I don't know if it's. I need to check and see if it's sold out or not. They're literally having a Christmas concert. I literally found out about it yesterday because I was going to. I had to go to the grocery store and I had to walk past this new building. I thought it was
Uh-huh.
going to be an apartment building, but it literally changed it to this like theater performance space
That's
that
so
looks
great.
like an old school theater. And so I was like, oh, is it going to be a cafe? Like, it's going to be like,
Uh-huh.
what is that?
No,
It's
it's gonna
literally
be an
performance
End
space.
Flying concert venue.
Is that-
Right.
yeah.
And I walk past and
You
there's
gotta
this
go.
huge
You gotta at
poster on
least-
the side of In Flying.
You gotta at least
And I was
try to
like,
go.
You just gotta walk
I'm gonna
up.
see, actually, yeah, I'm gonna see because I'm just like, I kind of want to see them again, but also I
It's gonna
have
be
to
like
go to
30
sleep early
bucks.
tonight.
You gotta
I
what?
know, but I have to go to sleep early tonight
Mm-hmm.
because, well, it keeps going this way. Because tomorrow I'm actually going strawberry picking
Ooh.
and I'm going to the place where they filmed the Winter Sonata.
Oh.
And I'm also going to an ice valley and also going to a Christmas light show. So
You got a full day
But
for
I have to
That
tomorrow.
is a lot to do, but it's End Flying right
Yes.
next to your house, Nike.
I mean, she could
know,
also
I'm like,
theoretically just open the windows, right?
yeah, I'm
Depends.
gonna walk past because in the front you can hear like you can hear a little bit of it, but they do have
Mhm.
it so soundproof
Okay.
that like you
Yeah,
don't even feel the vibrations
Got
if
it.
you're on that side.
Got it.
I would
You have to go to
assume
like literally to the front, but
in a residential area they try to soundproof that
yeah,
I
because
mean,
otherwise they get
yeah.
in trouble.
I mean, they probably
yeah.
did try to like soundproof it, but there's almost no way where you can like perfectly soundproof it.
I'm gonna go to the convenience store. If I can't buy a ticket, I'm gonna go to the convenience store,
Get a couple
which is
like
literally
drinks.
right in front of them. Yeah,
Oh
it's
man,
literally right in front of it.
all the Christmas
Yeah.
Oh
concerts.
man.
I
It
wanted
was
to
Like,
go to
oh,
Crushes
that's cool.
one day
Oh,
or K Will's.
yeah.
I'd love to
Ooh.
go to a K Will Christmas concert.
Me and Kay will still have beef from No Mercy.
I know, but I still want to see him.
Thank you all for listening to It Ain't New, where if you don't know, now you know. We're Nyke.
Bella.
Star.
Please show us some love on Spotify by leaving us a rating or a review, and join our Patreon so we can grow and continue to give you all wonderful content.